Brainstorming and sharing ideas is the funnest part of the creative process. We decided to skip the boring part of actually making stuff and just do the fun part. I'm your host, Tom Walma.
John Johnson.
Vivian Brigette.
I'm Juan Carlos.
And this is Creativity Wasted.
As you guys may know, if you see my stand-up, I'm a gardener. And a lot of my time is spent picking worms off my brassicas, off my kale plants, my broccoli plants. So what I would like would be if there were a way that we could train, like instead of bomb-sniffing dogs, I want worm-sniffing birds. It's not really an invention. It's more of a way of life. Like I want to be able to train birds to, like eat the worms off my plants, like at my command. Yeah. And I'm not saying we should genetically modify the birds because I have seen the Hitchcock film The Birds. And so I know I don't want to open that can of worms, so to speak, but I would like to be able to train birds to eat worms for me.
This is a dumb question. They do that anyway, right?
Yes.
Just not on command.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Whenever they just want to.
Do you have to point them to a specific worm, or do you just point them to an area?
Yeah, I would trust them to find the worms on the specific plant.
Mm-hmm. I bet you could do that with crows. Honestly, they're really smart.
Yeah?
I bet you could probably train them, yeah.
But I think I would need some sort of license to do that.
Yes. Crows
I think
and
maybe you're
ravens.
better off doing drones, maybe bird-like drones rather than actual birds. I think you'd pull that off quicker, just logistically.
Yeah.
I don't know, just thought.
Yeah. I don't know, like, drones might be a little difficult, because you have to work in such a small area.
Yeah.
That's true.
What would they do with the worms, the drones?
Yeah.
What would they do with the worms? Save them up to feed to some birds.
Yeah, it's true.
Then you'd have a bunch of fat, lazy birds just waiting for the drones to give them the... they'd try to fly out of their nest and they would just fall to the ground because they're so fat.
Yeah, training them to be lazy.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
If you had head lice...
Ooh.
First of all, would you want them to go after the head lice? Or would that be a danger?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That seems a little...
Probably be a danger.
Or pubic lice.
Any
lice.
I'm definitely not trying with that.
I'm sure that kink is out there.
Yeah,
Or
that's
it will be.
a porn search away from that one.
Yeah.
That is closest to the movie The Birds, though, is actual head lice picking. You got to really you really got to announce that one before you started.
And if the birds had been made by a woman, that the pubic lice picking also would have been a scene, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And if it was invented by women, there'd be like skin on feet picking off, and it'd be like $1,000 an hour to have birds do that and stuff like So, there's all sorts of ways. Yeah, there's always an angle. So,
and I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to be the one bringing this up just because I'm Spanish, but there's cheaper ways to do that. You can go to Home Depot to a certain parking lot, and you just find a way to deal with the war problem pretty cheap. Yeah.
Oh. Get some Mexicans to get the worms for me.
Yeah. The immigration can definitely take care of that problem.
Do they have gardeners at Home Depot, or is it construction type guys?
Hey man.
Or they just do whatever.
You need them to be for $20 an hour. That's a little steep, actually. 20. Yeah, I'm sure that you can train them quicker than you can do ravens. So I don't know. Might be worth a try.
I'd have to learn some keywords in Spanish, but yeah, we'll probably do a good job.
The birds are really hard workers. Maybe let's don't edit that out of context, okay?
Taking jobs away from birds.
Yes, birds are taking necessary jobs from middle-aged white guys. That's a Karen move right there. Birds are taking my jobs. Okay, there's a Karen. There's a guy Karen move right there.
Oh man.
If you're a goth gardener, you could use bats.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that might even work better because don't worms tend to come out like in the dark or after it rained or like when did the worms come up?
They're on the leaves, so they live on the leaves.
Oh, they just live there like 24/7.
Yeah.
You have to constantly be like watching out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crazy!
Or else they chew up the leaves. Yeah, I keep my plants covered, but I would just rather, rather create a job out of this. Yeah,
exactly. Yes, an industry.
Yeah,
contribute to the economy there.
Yeah, trickle down economics, right?
Yes, very trickle down.
Yeah.
I've never had a garden that I had to take care of, but I've been thinking about doing hydroponics. I don't think you have a problem with that when you do that.
No, if it's inside, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't have to use parrots or something? Indoor birds?
Indoor birds? Help you with the problem inside.
I do have a garden. I'm a middle-aged man that quit drinking, so now I have a garden. So, that's basically how that happened. But, I just quit drinking, and 4 years later, a garden was back there and sunflowers and shit. So it's, I got a lot of herbs and, stuff like that. Bumblebees, grasshoppers, nothing.
No worms.
Nothing that I got to get artificial intelligent birds to kind of take away. So.
You don't grow any kale. It's the kale that they really love.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the fiber to go for. Okay.
Oh, so some life form likes kale.
Yeah.
Like the taste of kale.
Those worms are like super.
Well, they're the ones.
Kale's good.
And they probably don't even like them either. They're just bragging to the other animals. It's like, oh, yeah, I got over the kale in the garden the other day. And they just bring it up,
The closest thing I ever did to a garden was I make these veggie smoothies when I'm trying to lose weight. And I heard that you could eat dandelions.
Oh, no.
So I had some dandelions in my yard, and I threw some of them in a smoothie.
Oh, okay.
And it was horrible.
Yeah.
Is dandelion, isn't it like weed? Aren't those weed?
Yeah.
Whatever. They're a plant that I read on BuzzFeed that you could eat or something.
Yeah.
You can eat
them.
No judgment here. I actually heard that dandelions, like the root, or like the weeds that grow in your backyard, if you like take them out, if they grow big enough, there's like a root that you can use for like as a painkiller. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't do no research on this whatsoever. This is just something that I heard someone say online. So could potentially be just like, nothing. So don't be going out there and just like getting it out of the ground and then like, oh, JC told me this was good for me. But I heard, and he seemed pretty knowledgeable. I mean, so I was like, all right, well, but then I never did the research, so I don't know for sure. But he had like a really crazy conspiracy theory around it because it's true that, this I actually did find out that was true. Apparently, all these companies that do like the weed killers for your garden, a lot of them are owned by pharmaceutical companies. And I didn't necessarily think that was too off, but it seemed a little bit weird just, for that specific kind of product because they say that you can use that as medicine. And that's why they're killing it off. Okay. It's like, I don't know, maybe.
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably.
I think probably it's easy to make chemicals. If you're making chemicals for drugs, you can also make chemicals for killing things.
Yeah. Weed killer. Yeah.
Weed killer.
That makes
sense.
I
mean, it did kind of pan out that they own them, but I mean, I don't know if that means anything.
The trained birds, Will you eat them? Are they like chickens, like a farm, like where they're edible?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I don't eat meat, so I personally wouldn't. But yeah, a chicken, that would be awesome.
Well, I didn't mean necessarily it is a chicken, but
Yeah,
it's a bird. Like people used to eat. I thought I heard somewhere that that song about 12 Days of Christmas, like all the different types of birds that they ate those birds like in a meal, right? In the song.
Yeah. Partridges.
3 French hens, 2 turtle doves. Right. They were for eating. I thought.
Okay.
I've eaten
5 gold onion rings.
Well, I mean, I come from a country where we eat a lot of really crazy stuff, so yeah, I guess.
I don't think there's anything weird about eating birds. I mean,
yeah.
2 of our major meats are, chicken and turkey. I wouldn't eat a crow.
Too smart?
No, not a crow or raven. Anything that's smart, I don't think I would be comfortable eating.
And I sure as hell would not eat a pigeon.
Oh, like dirty birds. Mm-hmm. Like that'll eat anything, like off the sidewalk.
Like winged rats.
Do people eat pigeons? Do they eat them?
I don't think so.
Maybe in New York?
No.
I feel like zombies in zombie movies eat pigeons.
Yeah. Could be like a weird pizza. Pigeon pizza.
Pigeon pizza.
Oh.
Yes. Oh man.
Is there any thoughts on how you would train them, or you just want them somebody to provide them to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably someone, there are people who train birds, like falconers and that kind of thing. So someone who has experience training birds and could, train other birds. Or I can get a falcon.
You don't want to train them. You just want to buy one that's pre-trained.
Yes. Yeah. I have a full-time job. I mean,
yeah.
That sounds like more work than taking the worms off.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Any last thoughts on the worm thing?
Not me.
Anything's better than pesticide. Save the bees, right?
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah.
I'll
get off my soapbox.
Right. If you guys have any comedy shows or anything you want to promote?
Yeah, we got an open mic. I'm standing in front of Hamilton Street Pub. We do an open mic here in Saginaw on Monday nights. We also do a couple nights in Bay City, Michigan, Tuesday at O'Hare's, Thursday at South End Bar. Just open mic, show up, go up, trying to get some comedy going in the Tri-City area. So, yeah.
I have a few things. I'm going to be at the Blind Pig on Monday next week, September 19th. And I'm actually on another podcast. I'm on Carl Johnson's podcast coming out this Thursday.
Oh, I didn't know he had one.
Podcast, yeah. And then, you can follow me on social media. My Instagram is Vivian Brigette Comedy.
This has been a production of Planet Ant Podcast, powered by Pinecast.